Hi, Kenny here, and this is I'm going for a little test drive out in the countryside. We're not quite there yet, but we're gonna get there, and I just wanted to see how this setup works. I've been meaning to get to this point for a while, and now that I got a little bit of time today, I've taken this setup out. I've got my chest harness with my GoPro Hero 12, and then I got another GoPro mounted on my handlebars, and recording my audio through my Cardo. So this is where everything is getting recorded, getting it on there as a separate audio track, and then I sync everything up in Adobe Premiere. I like playing and recording all forms of media, and I've actually bought my chest harness a little while back, but I'm a little hesitant to wear it because it just seems like a lot of bulk. Like, got my jacket on, and I got my reflective vest on, and then on top of all this is my camera right on the chest. I know that the view should be pretty good. You guys should be able to see all the things on my all the things going on in my little cockpit here. A couple things I want to talk about today is, one is I seem to be in a part of my career with motorcycle where it's just constantly fucking around and finding out. And the latest thing was me discovering that my handlebars, just for whatever reason, my handlebar mounting bracket, you know, it just seemed always a little bit loose and hard to tighten. And I recently got into a little bit of trouble. I've tried bolting on my handlebar mount bolts so tight. I didn't look into the torque specs, but you know, they were like really up there, and I ended up snapping two of the bolts, two separate occasions. The most recent one just happened a couple days ago. Two separate occasions where I snapped the bolt off, and like this one, oh man, I got so lucky because I managed to get it all by myself. I may have mentioned previously about breaking and snapping a bolt. That worked out. I managed to work the bolt back out by WD-ing 40 the whole thing, and then putting a drill bit in there in reverse to it finally caught, or gave me a little bit of wiggle. I was able to like turn the bolt out. And in my mind, WD-40 works wonders for that. This second situation that happened with me breaking the bolt was the fact that I didn't learn a damn thing, and I was just torquing my handlebars. I was just finding it really irritated by the fact that these handlebars just constantly, if I were to give it enough muscle, it would just it would move on me. And it happened once while I was pushing pushing this motorcycle up a trailer, and that reminds me, I really should do a little bit on how to load these things on a trailer. But the bar shifted, turned on me, like it went forward, and that gave me a bit of a scare, because it's you know, 450 pounds of it coming down, shifting on you under these handlebars. And the lesson learned there, and I probably will never do this again, or try not to, is never try to push a motorcycle up a trailer without by the handlebars. Like, get a friend to push you. You don't want to put that much weight on these handlebars. They're 4 bolts. They're just not meant to hold that much weight, especially when you're on an incline. You've got this motorcycle weighing this much. Not a good idea. So get help. Get people to help you push a motorcycle up a ramp if you can, because it is very difficult. You're going to put stress on these clamps when you do. So, having taken a look at the situation after my bolt was snapped, downshifted a little early there. I was so lucky because the bolt kind of just fragmented. It's a clean break, but it was broken in such a way that they're like pieces of a puzzle. I was able to fit the original bolt on there. After WDing 40 it, the crap out of it, it's this bolt down here. I don't know if you can see that, but there we go. This way down here. After cracking that bolt, I was able to back it out using the original bolt, lots of WD-40, and got it back out. So really lucky I didn't have to. Both bolts were able to back out. After that, I took a little bit of a break, which is basically overnight, and me doing a lot of Googling around. Like I said, it's this is the fuck around find out episode. I managed to do a little bit of research, and I looked into all these different options. There were some options like putting hockey tape, putting like a grinding compound. The best solution I looked into was filing it, which I did. Clean it, give it a good clean, make sure there's no, and I'm talking about the handlebar and the mounting bracket, all the contacts. After taking a look at I think the knurling on the handlebar itself just basically got really worn, and to a point where it felt pretty smooth, and that was probably the primary reason why I was torquing it down so much, and it still had give. So that all worked out. Well, what worked out was I basically got to filing it, made the textures on both the handlebar and the clamp itself a little bit rough. I was planning to get the emery tape. It's basically like a sandpaper cloth, I believe, that is a little bit more resilient. Paper will break apart during wet periods, prolonged wet periods. So, but I basically cleaned the brake cleaner and cleaned all the mechanisms with brake cleaner, and attendant off duty, so I think I might be able to just pop in. Yeah. I basically managed to clean everything, and the funny thing that I saw underneath the bar clamp was that there was in fact like a sticker, not helping with the grip of the handlebars either. And the fact that I'm one of those, like, this is perhaps not a bad habit, but a cycling habit that I've had, was that I would constantly adjust handlebar positions, get something that I really like, and I get really OCD on that. So I would kind of occasionally just loosen the bolts a little bit, turn the bars to the position I want to try, and then retighten. Well, that got so bad because everything got smoothed out. It didn't also help that I tried to push this up a trailer once and really shifted the bars, and all that grinding, it was just smoothing out the knurling on the handlebar. The knurling on these Royal Enfield handlebars are not crazy to begin with. They were nowhere even near what the knurling I had on some of my bicycles, like the handlebars. So gave it a little bit of filing, and refitting it and the cleaning, which I did with brake cleaner, I think I got it tight pretty good. I've also replaced the bolts on the original bracket with some hardened, I think it's an 8.9 or something like that, hardened steel bolts. So I replaced all the bolts with stronger bolts, and hopefully that's not an issue. However, this is when I decided to look into the torque specs on these guys, and apparently it was like 20 pounds. 20 pounds on this motorcycle didn't really help. I did torque my bolts here down to 30 pounds, and it seems to be holding. So I would say if you have to torque it down beyond 40 pounds, or 50 pounds, and your handlebar is still shifting on you, it's not the issue. That the handlebar is not it's the knurling, it's a slippage that's the issue. So, lesson learned. It's very frustrating, and I contemplate a few different options. Like, I wanted to get perhaps upgrade my handlebars to something that has a little more serious knurling, but no, this seems to be holding well. So yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to catch up on and update. Misadventures, right? So that's one of the things. What was another thing I want to talk about? There was something motorcycle related, but I'm out here cruising out in Guelph Lake, and really warm, still autumn, and just nice to be out here looking at the colors, see how they're changing. Wanted to see how the lake levels. I'm out here in Guelph Lake. I want to see how the lake levels are doing. So we'll go by the lake in a little bit. I keep coming out to Guelph Lake because it is one of those places where I just like take my time, cruise around, see what's around the bend, see what's around the corner. And I really look for places that just they're not I really prefer to take my motorcycle to places like this. I think this is my zone, this is my environment for the time being. So if you have any places you might want to suggest that are very similar to, I find conservation areas and parks to be a good spot to look into. However, they don't always have extensive roads like this where you just kind of wander around. So if you have any suggestions on where I can check out, I'm in the Guelph area, but took a rip out to Creemore the other day to the Flying Squirrel on a Saturday, and they weren't open. But on this Bullet 350, hour and a half long rides are super comfy, super comfortable. And I just love places where I can just ride like this on a motorcycle. Nothing hard. There's no cars to worry about. I'm okay with taking this on the grass. And I find that with this bike, just the ability to, although it's not a fast bike or a powerful bike, the weight and the level of comfort you have, especially when you're just like on rough roads, grass, yeah, it really is a bike that can go to a lot of places. So what it lacks in power, it makes up for its versatility, and I like that. I like this type of riding, just kind of poking around things. And I always seem to have this not a behavior, but I always seem to have this tendency, I guess. The same with kayaking. I don't always go with the fastest kayaks. or the most sporty kayak. I like the ones that allow me to meander and wander, and as long as I can pack camera gear, I can stop at places, I'm happy. I'd rather ride a motorcycle and not have to focus on the road. I like to take in all that's around and just be in the environment. Lake level is really low on the out in Guelph Lake, so that's kind of interesting. I've had recently a string of experiences where I've been riding a motorcycle, and it could be like a little country road, right? Like 80 kilometers, and then you would have stop signs on the left, stop signs on the right, and I'm coming down, and there's been a couple of occasions where cars just lurch out, or they don't stop at a stop sign, and they see you and then make a correction, right? They either they stop, they kind of wave me through, or I usually just typically tell them get the heck out of my way. I wave them through, and I just stop as a precaution. But I want to touch up on visibility, because I am one of those that lean towards wearing a reflective riding gear. I am currently wearing my reflective vest. Funny enough, I was wearing like construction vests up until now, and the reason for that, the reason for those construction vests is that they're cheap. They're literally disposable, and when you put them on, I like the fact that they kind of flop around. They kind of create a little bit of movement, and you tend to not notice them when you wear a jacket, like a thick leather jacket. So they kind of flop around. They don't get in the way. You never have to really zip it up. So it's nice to have a vest where it's, you know, it's super light, it compacts. You can put it away, you stow it away on you if you really didn't want to wear it. But I did come across this Icon Interceptor reflective vest, and I've been wearing it lately because it's a little bit more snug, and it has zippers. Well, the grass is a little wet. It's got zippers, and it doesn't look so much like a construction vest. So if you ask me on my views on reflective gear, I'm all for it. I really do think, you know, I subconsciously made my motorcycle. I don't necessarily always wear all black, but I said kind of weirdly made this all blacked out. So I wanted to put some visibility on me to give it, you know, at least something drivers can see. The reflective vests are really good. I like it for that. And I think for the foreseeable time, I think I will continue to make use of reflective material, especially here when the evenings get, oh, that's a little heron. When things get a little bit darker earlier, or when you like to get up at 7 in the morning, break of dawn and ride, it's really handy. And just drivers just are so distracted these days. I don't think it's a good idea. I would prefer to wear a reflective vest, but of course, those are just my thoughts and opinions. It's what I prefer. But I think both of those instances where I had drivers pull out on me, I've been very lucky that I was going the legal speed limit. That's a good shot. That's a cool shot of the bike. I should take a photo from here. And I was going to legal speed limit, and it got me thinking about liability and situations where, you know, if I was going faster than I needed to be, I could have not reacted. I could have not had the time to clear the situation due to there just being so little reaction time if you're going faster on a motorcycle.
So going the speed limit got me thinking, like, all these motorcycles that have the higher horsepower and the higher speeds, I get the thrill. Like, I really understand the thrill of motorcycling. However, just seeing the stuff that happens in the news, the minute you are above the legal speed limit, it's very likely that it's going to be your fault. And I don't know what to make of that situation, but like legally, if you think about it, like it could be any kind of situation, but if you're above the legal speed limit, that liability is on you. No matter if you were just like looking to pass or whatever excuse you might have. So it got me thinking about like, what do you do with that piece of information, right? Because, I mean, those are the laws. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take a picture here. Because I like to frame that motorcycle with the bushes I got here. See what I get. I'm also wearing like a flip-up turret helmet, which I really like because gives me the ability to still keep my helmet on and still take pictures. I could take my camera to my eye and click away. So that's what I'm doing. Can we do that? Yeah, just something to do. So yeah, those are just some thoughts on me messing around too much, perhaps finding out too much about the nuts and bolts of a motorcycle. So I'm just gonna see if this all works out. We'll talk to you later.